Welcome to episode 1 of the PhD Breakdown, where today I'm going to speak about the hardest parts about doing a PhD. This is the first installment in my new YouTube channel. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so today's video is very subjective. This is just my opinion and it may require a part 2 and a part 3, but we're just going to run with it today and speak about, in my opinion, the hardest parts about doing a PhD. Point number 1 is money worries. Now, in the UK, if you're a PhD candidate, you're earning round about 15-16 grand a year on your stipend. And yes, that's not great money, and for 3 or 4 years, it can be very challenging. And you're really saying goodbye to any nice material possessions which you like. But more importantly, it's difficult to save for the future. That 15 grand will cover your rent, your bills, a bit of a social life and some clothes, but other than that, the money obviously won't go very far. The second point is seeing friends prosper. Now, I don't mean this in a jealous or bitter kind of way, but if you're a PhD student in your mid to late 20s, you look at your friends who have chosen a different career pathway of a similar age, and they've got a nice car, they've got a mortgage, they're settled down, and you kind of feel like the odd one out. You might have relocated to do your PhD, and your friends who chose something different in their career are doing really well, and you feel like you're not. And then on top of that, you get questions like, well, when are you getting a proper job? When do you finish studying? Or have you not got a partner yet? Or why haven't you got a mortgage? You're 30 years old. And that's quite difficult to hear. And it's easier said than done, but you always need to try not to make comparisons to friends who have chosen a different career pathway. All you can really do is focus on your PhD and just focus on bettering yourself every single day. My next point is pursuing hobbies as a PhD student. You may enjoy sport, it could be music, art, photography, whatever it is, you can find yourself with this ultimatum as a student where you say, on the evenings or on the weekend, should I focus on my PhD or should I go and run? Should I go and do some photography? For me personally, I would go and run on the evenings, on the weekends, and be met with this guilt. I'm running along thinking to myself, I'm spending 2 hours doing this when really I should do some writing or I should be reading that paper. A PhD is not really a 9-to-5 job, it's very difficult to switch off, and that guilt can just follow you around like a bad smell for 3 or 4 years. Point number 4 is waiting on other people. Now, yes, as a PhD student, you can always do something by yourself in your own time. You can read journal articles, you can listen to a podcast or do some writing, but there will be periods where you can't progress until someone else has helped you along the way. So I'll give you some examples here. First of all, you've got supervisors. You have to wait for them to be available for a meeting or to okay something. It could be your participants. You're waiting for people to actually come forward and take part in your studies. You've got your co-authors. They will write certain segments of your manuscript and you can't try and publish that paper until they've done those segments. And then you've got reviewers. This is a very long process where it could take 6-9 months, a year to actually get a paper published. So whilst a PhD is quite an individual pursuit, there is a lot of waiting around as well. And my final point is job prospects. I don't wish to be too negative here, but you'll often hear people say during a PhD, wow, you're doing a PhD, that's great. Imagine the money you'll get afterwards and this great job you'll get as soon as that viva's finished. And doesn't always work that way, because the reality is there are a lot of PhD scholarships out there now, but it doesn't quite match the number of jobs which are available for PhD students when they finish. So this is very, very challenging to actually go from your PhD into your dream job. Okay, I'll finish the video now with a PhD breakdown, and first of all, I advise you to learn as much as you can about the PhD process. And you need to find lots of opinions, so don't just watch my channel and take what I say as gospel. Look at other YouTube channels, go on Google, speak to people who work in academia, get loads of opinions. And finally, there are plenty of positives. Yes, this video has been a bit negative, but don't worry, my channel isn't going to rain down on how bad a PhD is. It will give a balanced viewpoint. Okay, thank you for watching this video, and I'll speak to you again soon.